So apologies for the late start. Our working discussion went a little long. It is 7:35 p.m. and I would like to call to order the Fridley School Board meeting, business meeting for Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. Our first order, if you wish, I invite you to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, board members, we have an agenda in front of us. Any changes or revisions or additions to the agenda? If not, a motion to accept would be in order.
So moved. Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as is. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. And we have an agenda. So we have a spotlight on recognition from Dr. Lewis. Be my guest.
Thank you so much, Chair Meisner. It is my absolute delight to come up, to call up Justin Reese and Carrie Ryder to do our Hall of Fame inductees.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad.
Board Chair Meisner, board members, and Superintendent Lewis. I'm excited to tell you about our weekend of activities we had with Fridley activities on August 4th, 5th, and 6th. And just to give you a little bit of a background history, my predecessor, Dan Roth, we were putting together activities, golf tournament every year. And he was like, hey, you know what, how do we get more community members involved? And he said, hey, let's recognize and have a Athletic Hall of Fame banquet. And so after the golf tournament, we'll have a banquet afterwards. But after 4 hours of golfing, it's pretty tough to sit through 2 more hours of a banquet. So we decided to spread it out. And in that process, we added a Remember When run that I'll get into. But on Friday, we had our golf tournament that a lot of former parents that was involved with the football touchdown club that you'll see inside there, as well as just was involved in different activities inside of Fridley. And they'll come back and help us put on this amazing event where we'll reach out to key community members inside the community to not only donate, but also be a part of the golfing as it is. We'll use our players involved, where they'll go meet a lot of the participants in they'll go meet them in the parking lot to kind of carry in and kind of show that appreciation for helping to donate to our program. And then you'll see on the side, you'll see some of our colleagues as well as our intern principal, Kelly McConville, who participated as well. In the next picture, what else do I see here? When you see the Remember When run. So this came about with Jeff Bullard, who taught inside our district for over 20 years. And Jeff Bullard he was our cross-country coach, he was our track and field coach. One of our runners that he coached in previous years, I think Haroon Abba, I think he ran in the Olympics, or came close to running in the Olympics, he was in the Olympic trials. So when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, he said, you know what, Reese, let's bring something back. I have a group of, fine young men that I was a part of, and I want to bring back the Remember When run so we can get back together. So on Saturday, we went to Commerce Park, and he brought back Peter Keenan, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, and he was a phenomenal track and field and cross-country athlete for us. And Peter Keenan, he was there running. He brought his family and a lot more other former athletes. And actually, Peter's older brother said, this looks familiar. I'm used to looking at my brother from behind. So it was exciting to hear those stories being shared out loud, and it was great for me to be able to hear the history of Fridley. And then on Sunday, we had the actual Hall of Fame ceremony where I let Carrie Ryder talk about.
Mm-hmm. So I'm one of the members of the Hall of Fame committee, and so being part of that group, this is new to me this year that I was able to participate on kind of the back end. I had attended the Hall of Fame in prior years as just kind of a champion and person who has been involved in Fridley and activities and athletics, not only like growing up my whole life and being part of the alumni, but also then also being a coworker with some people who are also getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. So getting together with a group of people and talking about who is to be inducted and just hearing the backstories, and it really just feels like such an honor to not only be able to acknowledge them, but really praise their accomplishments and what they did over the years, and how they are not only maybe athletes or involved in activities, but contributors or coaches, and still somehow have been involved so many years after they have graduated. So this is the list of people who were inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then just a few pictures from that night. It's at a local establishment, and there was a really great number of people who showed up. I will even say there were some people who were there that saw some people getting inducted into the Hall of Fame and recognized them and asked how they could come and celebrate with them. And so with a fee, they were able to come in and celebrate with them too. So one of the things looking forward to for next year and years to come is just like, how do we spread the word? How do we get that out there so that we can get more people involved into recognizing all the amazing things that are happening and continue to happen at Fridley Public Schools.
Thank you.
So.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to call up Amy Cochran and Matt Engelhardt, who are our administrators at Fridley Middle School. Before I turn it over to them, I also wanted to recognize Josh Collins and his comms team for the great work that they did putting this video together. We wanted to show you our transition video to middle school, and while my youngest is not going into 5th grade, she's transitioning to middle school because our prior district ended with elementary and 5th grade. So as a superintendent, I was very excited to see this video, and as a mom, it was a very nice video to kind of ease my anxiety a little bit. And I had Amara watch it, and she was like, oh, I wish I could have been there for the visit, but I feel like I simulated it. So I was loving the simulated use of the word there. So I just wanted to turn it over to our team to celebrate and to have our board see the wonderful work that went into this video and to see the final outcome.
So thank you so much. So Board Chair Meisner, board members, and Superintendent Lewis, thanks for having us tonight. I'm Amy Cochran, the principal at the middle school, and
I'm Matt Engelhardt, assistant principal.
so we are excited to also share this with you. I think we just don't often enough celebrate the things that we're doing, so we're really excited about this opportunity. Matt Carlisle, our communications coordinator in the district, did a phenomenal job putting this video together and really kind of capturing what we do specifically with our 4th graders coming into middle school. So we talk about transitions. It's a big time when students are coming from elementary school into middle school, and then also as we transition them out of middle school and into high school, which is also a really big step. And we're really proud of the connection that we have both with Stevenson and Hayes, as we connected a lot this year to make sure that our students were able to come over to the middle school during the school day and spend some time with us. And then also 2 evenings that we offered to our 4th grade families to make sure that they felt really comfortable with the middle school. And then the same thing as we, again, send our 8th graders off to high school, really partnering with our high school administrative team, getting our 8th graders over to the high school. This year we got them over there for a pep fest, which was really fun for them to see the high schoolers in action in a really exciting time. And so we had a really big focus on transitions this year, and this video kind of captures all of it. So excited to share it with you.
And then you're gonna get to practice some lockers. You guys didn't get to do anything with the lockers.
Hi, my name is Dr. Amy Cochran, and I'm the principal at Fridley Middle School.
Hi, my name is Matt Engelhardt. I am the assistant principal at Fridley Middle School.
Welcome, guys. Over there is the AP office.
The transition to Fridley Middle School is such an important event because moving from elementary school to middle school is a really large step. And so it's something that we really want to celebrate, but also ensure that students are ready and comfortable for that transition.
All right, have so much fun.
We have 3 major events that really help us focus on the transition to middle school. The first event happens in February, and that's for families to get their questions answered and really start to be comfortable with the middle school. The next event that we have is welcoming our fourth graders over here during the school day. So both Stevenson and Hayes students spent time in the classrooms with our current fifth grade students doing activities. They were able to get a tour of the building and actually get a feel for what the building is like during the school day.
So all those classes are on this side of the building?
And then our third event happens towards the end of the school year, and that night is really for students and families together, meeting all of the fifth grade teachers, again, spending time in those classrooms, getting a tour of the building, getting to practice lockers.
See? You got it down.
And then there also is an opportunity for lots of one-on-one time with myself and the assistant principal to be able to really get to know us, ask any questions that they're still wondering about as we get ready to welcome them in the fall.
One of the most beautiful things about Fridley Public Schools is we are smaller, but it really creates this community type of feel. It allows us to have a pretty intimate knowledge of who our students are, and it allows us to really set up the best learning environment for them.
Counterclockwise.
When students come here, their fifth grade classrooms really resemble their fourth grade experience. And students can really just focus on getting familiar with the building and the environment. So they spend time with one teacher just like they do in fourth grade. They sit with their classroom at lunch.
How do you motivate students in the middle school? Give them food.
Their teachers pretty much are walking with them everywhere they go, just like in elementary school.
And then slowly throughout the year, we transition to more opportunities for growth. We want them to feel like that they are ready for some extra autonomy in sixth grade. And our goal is by the end of fifth grade that they are there and they're ready to seamlessly transition to the next grade.
Transitions are really important because they're major milestones in students' lives. So whether that's preschool to kindergarten, whether that's fourth to fifth grade, we also transition our eighth graders out of the middle school and into high school, which is also a major transition. And then of course, graduation and into, post-secondary preparedness. One of the major things that we can focus on as a school is really how do we prepare students for those transitions so that they feel prepared, that they feel comfortable, and that they really feel ready.
Our goal with the transition process is really to make them feel that level of comfort and make them really excited to come join us at Fridley Middle School. Then when the year starts, we want them so ready to enter our building, and we want our families to feel so comfortable with sending their kids here. We're just excited to have a new group of Fridley Middle School Tigers to come in and have a great school year.
You're almost in fifth grade, a couple more weeks, and then you're big fifth graders.
Very cool. So I didn't realize that lockers were such a big issue.
The biggest.
Really?
It's the scariest. Well, eighth graders who are a lot taller than some of our incoming fifth graders. I'd say that's up there too, but lockers are like terrifying to kids.
And they usually take at least a couple weeks to kind of figure it out. But once they get it down, then it's amazing.
Yes.
But we will spend the first orientation day, that is in the first couple days of school, lockers, and lots of help.
Nice. Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
And good
much.
luck in the coming
Much
year.
appreciated.
All right, and next thing on our agenda is additional reports from superintendent and staff.
All right, thank you so much. I wanted to start out by just welcoming our principal of alternative services, Renee Van Gorp. And she started with us on August 7th and came right into our leadership retreat on August 8th, and just has been a wonderful, wonderful addition. So warm, so welcoming, and really the stability we need this year as we really move on with our transition. And I stole that picture off of LinkedIn of her, but I thought that beautiful smile spoke to the gifts and talents she brings to our district yet again in a different role. So I'm so excited and honored to have her working alongside of all of us. Wanted to update you on our Fridley New Teacher Academy 2023. It's next week. Dr. Bodie and his team have really led the charge on this. This has been an immense lift, and we are so excited to welcome our new cohort of teachers and really work with them so that they feel belonging within Fridley Public Schools. I'm not going to read to you all of the different items they'll be engaged in, and this 3 slides aren't even the exhaustive list, but you can see lots of mix there of different professional learning for them from, I'll call it, the art of teaching, the science of teaching, as well as how do you navigate HR, payroll, all those types of things. So a lot of mix of wonderful things. I meant that positively, Ike. How do you partner with HR? There we go. So lots
That's
of
their
things
version of a
there.
locker, I take it.
There we go, right? And then I wanted to invite all of you to the ice cream social to kind of celebrate and recognize our new teachers there and to end the week with them. That's on Thursday, August 24th at 3:30 at the Fridley High School Media Center. I thought it would just be a great time for you to extend your thanks to them and love them up a little bit as they launch into being part of the Fridley family. I wanted to elevate for you, as we have talked about, is really our work with AVID. And we will be bringing to you AVID updates and really a work around what does AVID look like, what does it look like for school-wide, what does that professional learning look like. We will be having a cohort of staff members here going to the national conference. The national conference is November 28th through 30th, and it really gives such a nice opportunity. I think there's like 90 sessions there, and you can have everything from learning from schools that have been AVID for 20 years to schools that say, here's our first 2-year journey, and you can really learn and understand and grow. AVID National Conference is different than the AVID Summer Institute that I talked about at our last board meeting, and that the Summer Institute is primarily professional learning that is done by AVID staff members, most of the time full-time staff members, and you are in one community of practice, and you have a very deep dive into whatever that area of AVID is. This one gives you a much different experience where you jump around and you pick your sessions, and it's very different. Both, I think, are wonderful learning opportunities. I think NatCon really gets that enthusiasm, that buy-in, and you hear from practitioners in a different way than you do from Summer Institute. I would like to extend to our board any members that would like to attend this conference. I would encourage you to do so because I think it gives our board a lens on that, and then hopefully this won't preclude you from attending, but then I would like to partner with our board members to then be part of that update from national conference when our team brings the update to the board. So if you're interested in doing that, just email me or Lori, and I'm very hopeful that we can have board members there. This is not a new update for you. This is our back to school resource fair. We're so excited about this. Saturday, August 26th, 10 to 12:30, right in the high school parking lot. We can also use helpers. So if you are interested, please let us know. But we're really excited for this event to welcome our families, get them excited about this school year. Wanted to share with you our open house dates that we have, which is right around the corner, so you can see those. I would encourage board members to stop in as much as your schedule allows, just to see families, thank staff, meet our students, etc. Building subs. In the 22-23 school year, Fridley Public Schools had 8 building subs. There was a little deviation with that. Sometimes that building sub would be pulled to do a long-term leave of absence, potentially when a staff member had a family leave. But for the most part, we had 2 subs, building subs per building, and they were right a part of our staff and really helped us as we navigated vacancies and absences that our teaching staff have. Unfortunately, these positions were funded out of our ESSER dollars, and as we know, we are sunsetting and eliminating the ESSER dollars in a good way because we're spending those down, but that leaves us without those 8 building subs. Along with Craig, we were able to restore 4 of those building sub positions with general fund dollars, and we also are funding 4 special education building subs with special education funding, so no general fund impact from that. So each of our buildings will have an allocation of 2. Looks a little bit different than the 8, still 8, just a little different focus area that also is mindful of our general fund as well. I'm going to have Lori pop open this costing document. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, but it does share about I'm definitely over 40 and now I can't see that.
Can you bigify?
Right here. Okay, so our costing here, some of the things I wanted to elevate is we're going to be working on really looking at our fill rates with our company that we utilize for substitutes that we have. We have an average fill rate of 42%. However, our fill rate with less than 24 hours notice is 16%. And that causes consternation for all of our staff members, causes consternation for our building admin to try to figure out how to fill those vacancies when our staff have a sick child at 4 in the morning or they themselves are sick early in the morning. We also have paid approximately just south of $77,000 in our staff themselves having to cover for one another. They're very willing to do that, but that also makes for our teachers to not have the planning and prep time that they're not only entitled to, but that they deserve to be at their best. You saw the year before that, we also had substantial need for teachers to cover for one another. When we looked at the costing, all in is what I'm going to call this for our building subs who are employees of Fridley Public Schools. They're entitled to benefits. It prices out at about $36.24 an hour. When you look at last year's rates, when you put in all of the company's incentives and things like that, we're just a couple dollars off there on an hourly rate of $33.14. And you can see that rate really elevated from the year before, which was $24.97. We have a much longer term discussion about these elements that I've talked to you about, but I just wanted to elevate for you the process and the costing that went behind reinstating building subs, 1 per building out of general fund, 1 per building funded for our needs with special education. And also what I'm not able to capture for you here is all the soft costs that come when we are constantly relying on our teachers and other staff to cover for one another. So just wanted to elevate that costing for you so that you could see that. One of the pieces here that Fridley Public Schools, not unlike other districts right around us, we have had struggles with fully filling our vacancies, particularly in hard to fill areas such as special education. We were able to pursue an option with international teaching staff. And what this allows us to do is through the United States Department of Citizen Immigration Services, as well as the United States Department of Labor, is to ensure that we do not have qualified domestic candidates. So that's the very first step. And then our second step is to really ensure that the candidates that we are vetting that are not currently residents or citizens of the United States meet the criteria of being what's called a skilled expert in their home country. So what that means is minimum of a 4-year degree. So this requires all of the international staff that we would bring have to have a minimum of a 4-year degree in education in the teaching area and be licensed in their home country. And then we go through a process where all of their credentials are evaluated by an organization that is approved by United States Citizens Immigration Services to ensure that they are highly qualified. Before that step, U.S. Department of Labor is also working with the district to make sure that we have vetted all domestic candidates first. We have followed that, and that we are also providing same wages for folks that are sponsored on an H-1B visa, and that we are not paying them less, giving them less benefits, etc. You might have heard of programs called J-1 visas. J-1s are extremely hard to get because those are, unless you were a provider before 2017, you can't become one. And the demand for J-1s is way higher than the access that organizations have to get them, because the federal government restricts them, and with the teacher shortage as well as the U.S. workforce shortage, those J-1s are hard to obtain, to be very honest. This also provides us the ability to have our teachers here for a 3-year visa, which a J-1 is not permanent. It's 1 year renewable up to 5 years. The H-1B gives us that ability, so we're not constantly filling vacancies for 1 year, but rather have stability and to build that. So I wanted to share about that. I'm going to bring to the board after our international teachers are here and acclimated. I'm going to bring to the board more specificity around what this process looks like, but just wanted to give you this right now. One of the caveats to international teachers is we can't get them here overnight. So we will not be able to have our international teachers here the first day of school. We also, USCIS doesn't report to us, so they kind of work on their timeline, but we are very optimistic and hopeful around that 3rd week in September that we'll start to see that. Right now, we are currently working through the sponsorship process for 3 teachers. So we are excited to be engaging upon this. We're also excited by the caliber of the candidates that we have, and furthermore, it's a way to fill vacancies that Fridley has actually had problems filling for multiple years within these areas. So wanted to share with you that update as well. On our safety and security front, I don't have the best news for you tonight. I think it's important to continue to be transparent with you. We continue to experience attempted break-ins. However, our staff has been amazing. We continue to identify our vulnerabilities and work through those. On Sunday night, one of the police officers said to me, "Dr. Lewis, you have your building locked down so much differently than you had 4 weeks ago." So I really appreciate the level of diligence that our staff has taken. I would also be remiss to not mention that our staff have been responding at 1 a.m, Saturday mornings, Sunday evenings. We're all hyper vigilant on this, and the hours that they are putting in on this and the dedication just shows the pride in our school district, and I'm very proud of them and thankful. I'd like to see their gifts and talents used elsewhere, but right now we're working through this. And the Fridley Police Department has been nothing short of amazing. I love the warm welcome that we've received. I didn't quite include in my interview with you that I thought every police officer in the city would know my name by mid-August, but that's where we are currently. But they just have been amazing partners. We've also had the honor of other agencies being extremely responsive to us and really helping us too. So I'm not going to go into the mitigation strategies here. But just letting you know that we are on top of that, and our staff has just been superb. Okay, So, our comms team put together this beautiful photo with my new debuted headshot. And as you can see here, I will be at our open houses at different times. So this is when I'm here as superintendent, and then I'll also be there at the middle school and the high school as mom. So I'm excited to be there, meet our community members, and just feel that energy that these evenings bring. And it's just such a fun time of the school year to see everyone so eager and so excited to come back. And I'm just really looking forward to that. Yesterday, we had our fall sports kickoff. I want to thank Lori specifically and Lori's children for getting us some candid shots. And Lori and I drove around and were grabbing pictures. Justin and Kayla with athletics were getting pictures for us. So we wanted to kind of give you some real-time shots here. So we have 159 high school students already registered for fall sports. So I think that's really exciting. We have 80 boys that are in cross-country football and soccer, and 89 girls that are in cross-country sideline cheer. Coming as a dance mother, I know that's important to add the sideline cheer. My apologies. Soccer, swim and dive, tennis, and volleyball. Our middle school sports will start with the school year, but we are so excited that 8th grade football already had practice, and we have 10 registered players. So we're really excited to see that. I would encourage you to just pop over and see our practices in session. It's really fun to see that. And then we wanted to bring to you some photos here. One of the anecdotes that I got from my 8th grade daughter, who's trying girls swim and dive for the very first time, is she really felt belonging, and she loved it. And then Ugo, he's kind of a man of few words. He's my 9th grader who's in soccer, and he loved every minute of it. So it just speaks to how Fridley embraces kids new, everybody feels belonging, and it just felt really special for my two that are in sports. Amara's a little ticked that we don't scoop down to 6th grade for girls swim and dive, but I told her, hold on 1 year and you'll be right there. So, and then with that, I wanted to share with the board, and this is being shared out to our high school families in the very near future. I apologize, I think it's our high school senior families, right? Not the whole high school. We're sharing out, we're already talking about class of 2024 graduation. We're making a change here. The outdoor venue definitely had some positives. My understanding is the areas of enhancement outweighed the strengths of it being an outdoor event. Team really did an amazing job of vetting multiple locations and venues, and those venue vetting included parking, proximity to the school district, transportation, all of those pieces, number of seats, all of those pieces. Sorry, Josh, did I miss anything on that vetting? And the decision was made to have the event at Bethel University Great Hall. These event spaces get booked out very, very, very far in advance. So this one is going to be on Friday, May 31st. I know that we are a traditional Thursday evening graduation. So we are communicating this early and often to our families so that they know that ahead of time. And we are going to look as we continue to book the venue to see if we can get back on that Thursday piece. So just wanted to get this on your radar, and it will very soon be on the radar of our high school senior families. Lastly, I wanted to shout out our communications team. Here's a little sneak peek of what will soon be in everyone's mailboxes. Our Fridley Public Schools 23-24 calendar, and we get a lot of excitement and calls asking when we're getting those. So likely next week we'll have those there, but there's your little sneak peek of of the cover shot. So with that, I appreciate you listening as we went through all of these updates.
Well, thank you very much, Superintendent Lewis. Okay.
I just want to
yes,
I just want to recognize Superintendent Lewis's welcome to Fridley, and we appreciate the community remind us the school has not started. We're already feeling the energy with all the activities and all the family engagement, and you know this is really bodes well for us that we're going to have a great school year. And of course, that messaging and that leadership is coming out clearly and loudly. So we appreciate you and welcome to Fridley. I just want to apologize that Fridley is a good place. So I'm sorry about the incidents that happened. So we are not.
Yeah, I just have felt the warmth, and Dr. Adam, thanks for your kind words. And even with our little bit of activity here at the high school with respect to what's happened the last few weeks here, you know, those things happen in school systems, and really it's what our response looks like. And we are just lucky that while the situations that are happening are annoying and nuisance, could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
So, but thank you for your kind words,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Adam.
Good comments, Dr. Admin. I was going to say something, and I realized this isn't your first meeting. I was going to say, you know,
It's our first
it's
meeting.
our first meeting, yes, since I missed last month. So it's a joy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
On the next item, business action, we have the school district's revised long-term facilities maintenance 10-year plan. And I believe Mr. Craig Weber is going to come up and share some details on that.
Good evening, Board Chair Meisner, Board members, Superintendent Lewis. I'm here to present our amended 10-year LTFM plan. The board approved version of this plan at last month's meeting, but we're coming back to you today because we are changing it. The major change that's happening is we are requesting around $196,000 for asbestos abatement at Stevenson Elementary. If the board approves that, it goes on to the Falls levy. We collect it in in calendar year 24, and the money will be available to start construction after July 1st of next year. The result of this is around a $20 tax impact on a $250,000 home in the city here, and that's the piece that's changing. And assuming the board passes the revised plan, we'll resubmit to MDE and get their approval, and then we can put it on the fall levy. You'll have another chance to look at this in the fall when we do our final levy. That's it'll be part on. I will call that out at the meeting. But overall, I'm guessing we're probably not going to see an overall levy increase, but that's just my initial read. Stay tuned. At the end of September, we'll verify that.
Very good. Thank you, Craig. Any questions or discussion on this motion for the updated long-term facility maintenance plan? Hearing none, then I would need a motion and a second to approve the updated plan.
Motion to update plan.
Second.
And we have a second. Thank you. So we have a motion and a second to approve the updated revised long-term facilities maintenance 10-year plan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that passes unanimously. Our next business item is our resolution of accepting gifts. Whereas School Board Policy 706 establishes guidelines for the acceptance of gifts to the district, and whereas Minnesota Statute 465.03 states that the school board may accept a gift, grant, or device of real or personal property only by the adoption of a resolution approved by 2/3 of its members, therefore be resolved that the School Board of Fridley Public Schools accepts with appreciation the following gifts received by the school district. And we have a gift donated to the Fridley High School from the Ken Vicken and family of $100 in memory of Tyler Christensen. Is there a motion to accept this gift?
So moved.
There's a motion
Second.
and a second to accept the gift. This requires a roll call vote. Dr. Adam,
Aye.
Ms. Anna,
Aye.
Ms. Jones,
Aye.
Ms. Stark,
Aye.
Mr. Meisner's aye, and Mr. Carnap is absent. That passes. Our next motion is for the one readings needed and the adoption of policies. And are we going to go over some of these briefly?
Yes, and board members, during the work session, our director team came up and updated these. I'm just going to take these for you since we had the updates in the work session. As Chair Meisner talked about, these are legislative changes, hence why we have the one reading needed. You will continue to see these legislative changes coming forward, and frankly, a lot of policy adjustments as we work through those legislative changes. We're doing our best. There were some that were July, some that were August, some that are beyond that. We're doing our best to get those implemented in the timeline as established by the legislation. We also want to do that right. So it's one thing to bring these legislative changes to you. You do one reading, you approve them. It's a very different thing to work through implementation of that. So we do have several curricular area policies that we will be bringing forward for those for you in the next several months. We just were not ready to bring those forward because we wanted to really get those right with implementation. So this will be something that you hear a lot from us in the coming meetings. So with that being said, tonight we are bringing forward our equal educational opportunity language change to that to add equal athletic opportunity. Then we're bringing forward drug-free workplace, drug-free school, tobacco-free environment, corporal punishment, and prone restraint, bullying prohibition policy, use of peace officers and crisis team, our school meals policy, transportation of non-public school students, student transportation and safety, as well as our crisis management policy. These are all policies that districts throughout the state of Minnesota will be bringing forward and doing the exact same work that we are, and we are asking you to approve based on all the legislative changes.
Very good. And we've all seen some of these in the work session. Any questions or discussion on these policy changes? And just keep the public informed that all of these policies are posted on our website. These updates will be posted shortly after they're approved here in the board meeting. So is there a motion to accept the approval or for the approval of these policy updates?
So moved.
We have a motion?
Second.
And we have a second to approve the one reading and adoption of policies 102, 418, 419, 507, 514, 532, 534, 708, 709, and 806, as Superintendent Dr. Lewis just summarized. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. And that passes. Our next item of business is the consent agenda. And our consent agenda has the minutes of the work session and business meeting held on July 18th, the monthly financial reports for May and June. It has new contracts, amendments, leaves of absence, resignations, retirements, and terminations, and the transportation contract for Frontier. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
There's a motion
Second.
and a second. Getting a good pattern there. All those in favor of the consent agenda as described, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. And that passes. Our final item is looking forward to the important future school board dates. As we saw during some of the updates here, the Back to School Resource Fair is this August 26th at 10 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. in the Fridley High School parking lot. The Fridley High School open house is August 30th from 1 to 6. The preschool open house is also August 30th from 4 to 6. That's here in the community center. The middle school open house is August 31st, the next day, 3 to 7 p.m. And Hayes and Stevenson family sessions are August 31st from 4 to 6 p.m. at Hayes and Stevenson, of course. The Tiger Club open house is August 31st from 4 to 6. So there's a lot happening on the 30th and 31st. And more importantly, the first day of school for 5th grade, 9th grade, and 12th grades with preschool, elementary, and ALC having some individual family meetings, is September 5th. And then the first day of school for all grades, all buildings, and all students is September 6th. Our next Fridley Public Schools Board meeting is September 19th here in the Community Center. As usual, 5:30 p.m. work session, 7 p.m. public forum if you wish to address the board, and this business meeting at 7:30 p.m. That is the entire agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion and
Second.
a second. It is 8:20 p.m. All those in favor of adjournment say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
I don't know, I was just